Hi, you have tuned in to maryw.jones Huntsville, better known as Precious. Now on my channel, you are going to find a little bit of home decor, DIY, shop with me, clean with me, decorating on a budget, and anything pertaining to real estate. Now, in today's video, I will be discussing what is the difference between closing costs and down payment. Now, if you are interested, just keep watching. Yes, I am doing a continuation of my first time home buyer series, and if you guys want to be notified the next time I upload the first time home buyers video, I'm asking you to go ahead on and just click on that subscribe button below this video and hit the notification bell. You will know the next time when I upload another video on the first time home buyer series. Okay, so let's get into the video. You know, I have all kind of questions with first time home buyer. They are asking me different questions on just anything in general. You know, first time home buyers, they want to know before they just jump into buying a house, they have questions. And so this is another question that came up, is what is the difference between closing costs and your down payment? So most of them, they're thinking they are paying on their closing costs when they pay the earnest money. Okay, so let's jump into it. So we want to discuss the closing cost. And no, your earnest money do not go towards your closing costs, but it does go towards your down payment. But we are going to discuss that. Okay, what are closing costs? Now, closing costs, let's say you have already found your house, you have already sent the contract to your closing attorney. Now, there are fees that you have to pay in order to close that loan out. Okay, you have been to the lender. Okay, so the lender is not doing this free for you. Your lender is gonna charge you certain fees to do certain things. Let's say your origination cost. That is where the loan officer originated your loan. They took your application, they sent you to underwriting, and now they got to get paid. So your origination cost, and that could be anywhere from say 1 to 5%, depending on where you went. Because each mortgage company, they might charge 1%, some might charge 2%, up to 5% of your loan amounts. So those fees have to be paid. And guess who pays those fees? The home buyer. Okay, so you have to pay those fees because they are not working for you free. Okay, and you also have, and I'm just going to name a few, you have, say, your title search. That's done by your attorney. Whoever you chose to close your loan, that is done by your attorney. They are going to order your title search. In other words, they trying to make sure that there are no broken chain link in your house. They are trying to make sure that the person that you are purchasing the home from, that they don't owe any other outstanding fees or bills on the house other than their mortgage payment. Say for instance, and I'm just gonna have to break it down because I'm talking to the first time home buyers. Say for instance, if this homeowner or this seller that you purchasing this home from, say they brought in a contractor and they did a little home improvement, to the house, and for some reason or another, they didn't pay all of the fees that they owed to the contractor. So the contractor said, okay, if you're not going to pay me, I'm going to go out and put a lien up against your house. So when you sell that house, you won't be able to sell it until you pay me my money. So that's one lien. And say like if they went out and they borrowed money against this house, maybe they got a home equity line of credit against this house. And say they owe $20,000 or HELOC on this house, which is a home equity line of credit. So, and they have not been paying that. All of these going to show up as liens. And I'm just trying to give you some example, not saying that this is what happened, but just trying to give you an example. Anything that they owe, if they owe someone else, they are not paying, those people can pull a lien up against the house. And also, they might can have, who knows, 3 or 4 other people name on this property that you are not aware of. And so the title search, once your attorney orders that, this will go ahead on and search from the beginning of time when this house was built up until the day that they sell this house, to make sure that the title is going to come to you clean. So it's very important to get that title search, but I'll talk about that in another video. So those are just some things that you will have to pay. And you got your taxes, your 3 months of taxes. If you're going to escrow this house, and most likely if you're getting a loan, you're going to escrow this house. And you have to put a cushion in your escrow account. You also got your insurance. You got to pay that a year up front. They want the first year at closing, so you got to pay that. You got the taxes, you got the insurance, you got your escrow, you got your origination fee, you got your attorney fees. There are just a lot of fees that comes together to make up your closing costs, and those are fees that you have to pay at closing, okay? And so now we know that the closing costs are just in precious terms. Your closing costs are just fees that you have accumulated in the process of you purchasing your home. So that's the precious term. So those are your closing cost fees. Well, some of your closing cost fees. And so the buyer is responsible for paying his closing fees. So now you can ask the seller to pay all or some or most of your closing costs. But this has to be done when you presenting that offer to your seller, or when your realtor is presenting that offer for you. You want to make sure that your realtor is putting in that offer whatever amounts of closing costs that you want your seller to pay. So say for instance, if you want your seller to pay $5,000 towards your closing cost, then you have to put that in the offer. Now, don't wait until the offer has become a contract, and then you're going to turn around and ask, or you're going to wait to close and say, no, I want my seller to pay this $5,000. No, it doesn't work like that. Everything has to be done before your offer becomes a contract. You need to make sure that that is in your offer, how much you want to pay. I don't like it when I receive an offer and it says the buyer wants your seller to pay 6% of closing costs. Well, I don't know how much is 6% of closing costs, so I tell the agent, tell your buyer, I need a dollar amount. I do not like percentage. I like a dollar amount. If you can tell me, hey, my buyer wants your seller to pay $4,000, I'm okay with that because that's a dollar amount because it's capped at $4,000. So if your closing cost goes over $4,000, hey, that's all you ask to pay is $4,000. So you got to pay the rest of that money. And there are some loans out there, they will not let you pay over a certain amount. If they said the seller can only pay 3% or the seller can only pay 6%, that's all your loan will let that seller pay. So make sure that you ask your loan officer, how much money can the seller pay towards my closing cost? And that way you will know how much money the seller can pay and how much money you have to come up with to make up that difference. So just keep that in mind. Just make sure that you are asking all these questions. You need to know that, okay? You need to know that up front. Even before you place the offer, you need to know that when you go into your loan officer, you need to ask. Okay, so now we found out about the closing costs. Your loan officer can give you a little good faith estimate. That good faith give you a ballpark figure on how much your closing costs would be. Your seller, whatever he agrees to pay for your closing costs, and that would be subtracted from your total closing costs, and what's ever left over, you just be prepared to pay that. Okay, so now we talked about closing costs. So now we pretty much know what is closing costs. Hopefully you know by now, so I hope I did a good job explaining that. So now we are going to talk about what is down payment. Okay, what is down payment? Who sets the down payment? Where do the down payment comes from? Okay, why one person down payment is more than the next person payment or vice versa? Okay, so we are going to discuss that. So who set the down payment? Okay, so now you at your loan officer and you are discussing different loans. He has done comparison. He letting you know if you want an FHA loan or a conventional loan or what type of loan that is good for you. Okay, say you went with a FHA loan. And so you say, okay, I think the FHA loan is going to be better for me. So we going with the FHA loan. Okay, how much is your house? Oh, my house, the house that I have in mind is $200,000. Okay, so if your house is $200,000, you chose the FHA loan. So now we know an FHA loan is 3.5% down. So you got to put down 3.5% down. No getting around that, okay? So now your $200,000 house, you're going to put down 3.5%. How do I know that? Because you chose a FHA loan. So 3.5% of $200,000 is $7,000. So that's your down payment. Seems like a lot, right? Yes, it is. So now you got to come up with that $7,000. Let's do the conventional loan. Okay, say like you say, okay, I'm going with the conventional loan. How much is your down payment? Okay, we determine your house is $200,000. So now your conventional loan, you can go as low as 3% down. So 3% of $200,000 is what? $6,000. That's your down payment. Okay, let's say you're going VA. You chose a VA loan, you've been in the Army, served your time, served Uncle Sam, served your country, because that's the only way you can get a VA loan. You have to be in the military or have served in the military. So now you're going with the VA loan. So we know a VA loan is 0 down. What is your down payment? 0. Nothing. You don't have to put anything down for a VA loan. Or say you chose a USDA loan because you don't want to live in the city. You want to live out in a rural area. And how much is your USDA loan? Your house, $200,000. USDA, 0. You don't have to put anything down for a USDA loan or a VA loan. But the USDA loan, there are some stipulations. So make sure when you discuss a USDA loan with your loan officer, make sure that he's giving you a map of which area that you can stay. You can't just stay anywhere. The area has to be classified as USDA. I found out that there are some addresses that you can still use a Huntsville address to get a USDA loan, and those are just some areas where they're trying to build up. So that's why they're offering those loans in that area, so they can loan money out to people that can stay in those areas to build that certain part of the city up. Okay, now that we discussed on how much we have to put down, and we know who determines how much we put down depending on the type of loan that we have, that's how we come up with down payments. So, but anyway, now your down payments, you don't have to pay that if you can find, say like someone to gift that money to you. Now your seller cannot gift the money to you. The seller cannot pay your down payment, so don't even think to ask the seller to pay your down payment. But say like if your mother wants to give you $7,000, now she can't just go out of a shoebox, or grandmama can't go to a shoebox and just pull that cash out and give it to you. No, she has to show in the bank where this money came from, your grandmama's account number, or whoever gifting you that money. So you have to make sure that money is seasoned. And what I mean about seasoned is the money has to be in the bank for, maybe a few months. You can't just say, I'm just gonna put the money in there and then put it out just like that. Okay, so that's pretty much covers the down payment. You have to pay your down payment. The seller cannot pay for it. It can be gifted, coming from a relative, your mom, grandmom, somebody like that. They have to present their account number so they can verify that the money came out of grandmom's accounts. It didn't just come sitting around in a shoebox. And even yourself, even if you tried to pay your down payment, you got to show where you are getting the money. You have to show that money was sitting in your accounts. You know that you are going to go and apply for a loan. Go ahead on and stick that money in that bank at least about 3 months ahead of time, so you won't have no problem whatsoever. Okay, so I just want to just break down what's the difference between the closing costs and your down payment. Hopefully we know the difference between your closing costs and your down payment. Okay, so I hope you guys by now know exactly what's the difference between the closing costs and the down payment. So we got all of that covered under closing costs 101. Okay, so if you like this video and if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? If this is some good information you are learning, go ahead on and click on that subscribe button and hit that like button, hit the notification bell, because we don't want you to miss out on any of these videos. I will be coming back to you with some more jam-packed videos so you can increase your learning and so you can get out there and buy that house, and you will have everything you need to know when you get ready to go out there and purchase that home. And also to my home buyers that have not purchased a home between 20 to 40 years, I'm here for you, baby. I am here for you as well. I am licensed. I am a licensed real estate broker. Okay, so I can assist you in purchasing your home. So if you need a realtor, if you need a real estate broker, I will have all of my information down below. Look in the description box below, and everything that you need to get in contact with me will be in that description box. This is Mary Precious Jones of Avision Realty, located here in Huntsville, Alabama. I am here to help you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to sign off. I enjoyed my time with you guys, and I will see you in my next video, hopefully, because you already done hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, so I know I will see you in my next video. I will see you in the future, and the future looks good on you. Bye-bye.